Hello and welcome to day 157 of Dungeon 23, the series where we make a room of a mega dungeon every day for a year. We are still in the Goblin City, and what is a city without a bank? I made this little bank here. There's the lobby, a little back room area, and then the vault area. And the front door is unlocked, obviously. There is a back door, which I think is really funny because it leads right into the vault. And the back door has a mat lying on the ground that says, "Not welcome, use front entrance." Underneath the mat is the key to the door. And their joke is that it's kind of incompetent. That's what's funny about it. Now, if they don't find the key, then it's going to be a DC 16 to pick the lock to the back door. Or go around the front. Which is unlocked, as I said. There is the Goblin Bank Vault, which is a really big chest. And this giant chest is locked with a giant key, which the bank goblin actually has. And because of how big it is, not only do you have to make a DC 17 lockpick check, or thieves' tools, I guess, to actually move the tumblers and put anything into place and to know what to do. We also need to make a DC 18 strength check to turn the tumblers. So if you're really dexterous and smart, you could probably pick the lock, but you may not have the physical strength to do so. That's where the help action comes in. Now inside the chest is 2d8 plus 5 bags of wooden nickels, which again is the currency of the goblin civilization, these little hand-carved wooden nickels. And each bag contains 50 of them. Also contained within it is the deed to the haunted house. So if the party gets it, then they own that house. And I kind of want to put a lawyer somewhere in the city, so that way if they take the deed to the lawyer could go and evict the ghosts, so the party doesn't have to fight him or banish him. And I think that's really, really funny. Because I'm pretty sure that was even a bit in the Casper the Friendly Ghost movie from the 90s. I don't know. And the final thing is a 20-pound bar of lead that is painted yellow, and there's a sticky note on it that says collateral. Obviously it's not a real bar of gold, it's a bar of lead that's painted yellow. It's very obviously not gold. And well, it says collateral because someone's putting something up for it, like collateral. It's really funny if you don't pay off your loans, then the bank goblin sends someone to beat you to death with it. And that does give me an idea, because I did not give the bank goblin the ability to give loans out, which is a mistake on my part. I think I'll do that now. But let me just explain how it works as is, then I could add that in later. So, if a party member can speak goblin, and they pass a DC 21 intelligence check, or if they have a background that gives them proficiency with law or finances, if they were a guild member and their guild was something to do with law enforcement or banking, then they'd have an advantage here. Or they'd just be able to navigate without having to make the check. Otherwise, in order to get an account with the bank goblin and the bank in general, at the end of every week, the account gains 1% interest. That seems like a lot until you realize that the bank only deals in wooden nickels, which is the currency of the goblins, and it's non-denominational. There's only the wooden nickel. It doesn't be split up, there's no change, there's no greater or lesser quantity. So it takes 100 weeks for one wooden nickel to turn into 2. So unless they have a lot of money to put in, then it's not going to increase. And the interest is generated magically because, one, it's funnier that way. They just conjure up money. But also because I don't feel like having to also make a mint and having to work the total economy of the system out. Because when you get to it, the economy in tabletop RPGs rarely, if ever, works. There's far too many moving parts, and it's better to keep the broad strokes because it typically gets in the way of the narrative. Or in this case, the gameplay, because this is not really a narratively driven project. It is one that is driven by wacky shenanigans. And I did not make them yet. They're probably just going to be goblin bosses, or just regular goblins and have one be a goblin boss. But if the banker just feels threatened or gets attacked, then once per day he could just summon 1d4 plus 4 of the guards, which I didn't make yet, but again, I'll make them eventually. and like in his like little inventory, he has all the keys to all the places. The front, the back door, which I guess he has two of, and also the giant key to the safe. He also has a bag containing 5d10 wooden nickels because, I mean, just look at this little guy. He has a little money bag, which you can't see it here because it's kind of, yeah, it's way too low quality. But he has a little money bag with a G sign on it that has like a line through it, so it looks like a mix between like a dollar sign and the letter G for goblin. It's a cute little detail that is probably not going to be seen. I might actually just take all my little tokens and put them on line somewhere. I gotta find a place to host them. Yeah, so he also has a golden monocle worth 300 gold pieces, and a very spiffy top hat with a bow tie to go along with it because, as we've established, players like stealing clothes. Now let's add the ability to take out loans. We're just going to fast forward this bit in the editing process. Alright, if the party has an account, they may take out a loan of up to 200, basically goblin bucks in the wooden nickels. The loan has a 10% interest, and it must be paid back within 2 weeks. If the party doesn't pay it back in time, the interest increases to 20%, and then also mercenaries hunt them down. And the mercenaries could just be bandits, it could be goblins, it could be skeletons, probably. In fact, I've been kind of putting off my skeleton soldier video, so I might just make a big series about mercenaries in general. Yeah, let me make that skeleton video, and then I'll make a video about goblins and have them as different mercenaries, and then we'll just send those guys after the party. And they'll continue to do that until pays the goblin banker his money back. So yeah, that is the bank goblin. I imagine he may be involved in some other shenanigans later down the line, depending on what buildings and NPCs I make. I don't know, but we'll see. And if you do want to see that, then consider liking the video, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel, so that way you can see these videos and your recommendations more often. Or you could just come back tomorrow, because these videos are daily. In fact, we have over 150 days of back catalog you could watch while waiting for this tomorrow. So yeah, I apologize for the poor quality. It's not going to get any better.